How's it going? My name is Brent from Encore PPF and Tint, and today we are working on a Ford Bronco. It is a 2023, I believe, and we're going to be bulking paint protection film on this hood. Now, I've done one of these hoods before, but that one was the, I think it's called the wide track model. So it had a big sticker in this section here, so I didn't have to worry about that area. So I think I was able to leave fingers there. I'm too lazy to go back and watch my own video to see how I did the install. So, you know, just gonna pretend like it's the first time I've done one of these again. And it is gonna be a little bit different because there is no sticker up in that area. So let's go ahead and get this on there. All right, so I did prop this hood open here a bit to make sure that we were clearing these handles, or they might be tie downs. And then I also made it high enough that we were clearing a lot of this, what do they call this plastic piece back here? The vent for the air conditioning, right? And then, anyway, whatever they call this, I wanted to clear that a little bit as well so that we're not bumping into it as much as we are going to be right here. And really, after looking at this, there's not much to this install. When I'm looking at this material, I'm looking for fingers around the edges, and I'm not really seeing that many of them. We do have, you know, one here in the middle, but those are going to be easy to work out. This looks like it's going to lay down right down in, and then this looks like you're just going to push it out. So I don't necessarily think that this hood is any different to do than the one I did previously, other than the fact that, you know, I had to cut around this sticker that was on here. But let's see. And let's see what we can do about these two, you know, my very minor fingers. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is start right here in the center and tack down. And then let's see what we can do about getting rid of that finger. And so I'm just barely putting a little tug on this. Okay. And then let's get this down right in here. And what I'm going to do with this part is trim some of this out. I think I've got too much soap in my slip today. Look how easy that's peeling up. Let's get some rubbing alcohol. All right, so we got some tack solution in there. Let's get this part back down. Swipe and hold. Then I'm going to trim off some of this along the back here. Well, let's see, can we just leave that? I think we can just leave it. I'm gonna go ahead and take out all of the slip solution back to this area. All right, now let's go ahead and get some tack in there so we can do a swipe and hold and have this stay stuck down. I'm just going over that edge and then holding there. Okay, that looks great. And look at this. Always keep an eye out for stuff like this. See all the water pooling right here? Trying to run back down that way. All right, the front, that's really not going to need any stretching. We could probably put just the tiniest little tug on this front here and eliminate most of this. But let's get some slip in there. Make sure we don't have any pre-tacking. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a lot of the air and slip solution. And then I am, like I said, going to give that just a tiny bit of a tug, and that's going to help all that lay down in there. Watch. So let's see. Let's just do that again, and I want to show you what I'm doing. See these lines this way? That means there's a little bit of stress on the material. So when I pull this way, it helps relieve that. On the other side, we'll see if that's even necessary. We'll do it a different way. All right. I want to get a little tack in here. I mean, it looks like it's staying down. Yeah, it's staying down. Okay, let's not. Right here, it's up a little bit, so let's get a little tack in that part. There we go. Oh, I popped it all up. Okay, let's get a little tack in there. And do that, and then squeegee everything out. All right, let's come over here and basically just do the same thing all over again. So these fingers here, I can help get rid of those just by using my arm on them. And this side, I think we're gonna put a little bit of stretch this way just to help with those fingers right there. But let's take care of the back first. Wait, no, let's take care of the front first. Okay. Let's see if we can get rid of some of those fingers. And we're talking just a very minor stretch. Don't get crazy. All right, so now that we've tacked this down, we've got to take everything else away from that. We can't pull anything through there. Working our way out towards the front. You see those fingers right there? That's why I'm doing this type of a motion. I was going with the fingers. You don't want to squeegee against them or you'll crease them over on top of each other. All right, so I'm gonna start at right about this point and take all this forward, and then everything else is gonna have to go towards the back. All right, a little bit popping up here, but we're gonna come back and we'll worry about that later. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we want to do now. We're gonna get rid of some of this air. I think this is completely different than I did last time. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So I've heard. I mean, I've never tried. You let me know in the comments if there really is. Okay, now let's see how we're looking here. Ooh, be careful, look at that. I almost ran myself out of coverage on that corner. So again, I'm gonna give myself a little stretch this way to help get rid of some of these fingers, just the tiny little finger that was out there in the center. Squeegee this out. Ooh, hey, how you doing? Where are you going? I don't think so. Okay. Push the air out. See what we're left with here. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish this. Finish this ridge here. Out in the center. Okay, great. You know, let's pull this back and get a little tack in there. Or a lot of tack in there. Just make sure when you're doing this swipe and hold type thing here that you are getting all the moisture out, because it's not gonna, you know, once you push this across, if you didn't get all the moisture out behind it, it's going to be pretty stuck in there due to the tack solution. And you can see I can get rid of that little finger there and this one here just by doing a little tug. Oh, I thought that was in the paint protection. It's not. It's a little it's a little bit of dirt in the in the paint work. All right, so I think everything's pretty much down now. Let's go ahead and get some of these edges down, and also you keep an eye out, you know, take a look around. We did have water running in areas, and we don't want to leave a big puddle behind. Definitely have to use a needle to get that out. Look at right here, I left some. Can you see that? We definitely want to get that out as soon as possible so that we don't have to use a needle to remove it. Okay, let's spray down all these edges with some tack. Let's get rid of a little bit of this excess here. All right, so this tack solution, let's go ahead and squeegee this out. And then the areas that need it, we're gonna go ahead and do kind of like a swipe and hold or like a pre-wrap. All right, most of that's looking, ooh, look at that. We got this little guy coming up here. Let's get a little bit more tack underneath there. And then what we're gonna do is to get help with that guy, well, hang on a second. It's all coming up a little bit. Okay, so let's get this down first. Okay, now to deal with that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little stretch on the material and we're gonna stick it to this fender. Here we go. That's looking really good. Oh, that's coming up a little. Let's get this shortened a little, because we only need about 1/4 inch or so to wrap underneath. Huh, I can't get my finger in there. There we go. Little tack. Man, I can only imagine with this thing gone, it must have even been an easier install on the other video. Okay, this is looking good. Let's go ahead and get these areas, these tiny little areas that are coming up that don't want to stay down. So I'm going to throw a little tack in here. We don't want them to sit for too long, because they will leave a distortion in the adhesive if they start to dry out. Oh, look at right here. I was real soapy today. Real soapy. Gave us a ton of extra working time, but it, you know, it's not wanting to just tack down like it normally does for me. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pre-wrap this part. So I don't want to start like pre-wrapping this until I squeegee it out. Now we can go ahead and pre-wrap it. Okay, let's get this one. Okay, let's see. A little bit of water under right here. Okay, that's all the way to the edge. All the way to the edge. Just double checking, making sure everything is at least to the edge. Great. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and start trimming some of this. And then since we didn't have to tack any corners or anything to put a stretch on it, it's already, you know, as tight as it's going to be in it. And the only way to relieve the tension is to pull it off the hood, which would be ridiculous to do. Oh, that's not good. Is it? Where is it? Wait, what? Uh-oh, this one just broke. Alright, that's good. See that thing? How the hell? Alright, look at this bottle. Look at this bottle just broke. Look at that. Do you guys use these bottles? Or has anybody ever, you know, I thought about putting my tack solution in a corning keg before, but I thought that was going to be too many hoses to carry around. Like, that's just going to be a mess. So I'll just throw this one away and get a new one. But I think these things are like 25 bucks a piece or something like that. I don't know what just happened, but well, it broke. All right, so let's go ahead and trim this. I'm gonna leave this on here just because that was one of the last things that we did and I don't want that coming up. So we'll go ahead and give that a little bit more time to cure. We'll start up here. All right, so what I'm doing here is actually trimming the material and leaving about a 1/4 inch hanging over. You can see with my left hand that I'm pulling away back towards the back of the car as well as towards myself away from the blade. And what that's doing is helping keep some nice tension on the blade so I get a nice straight cut. If you don't do that, you'll find that the material will bunch up and you'll get a real wavy, jagged cut. It just isn't going to cut well at all. So it's very important that you're pulling and putting that tension right at the blade whenever you're doing your trimming. And I'm just going to continue and do this all the way around. That's getting a little big. And there's a piece of rubber right there too. Let's go ahead and come back this direction. All right, there we go. Now on this cut here, you can see that with my pointer finger that's holding the blade, I'm running my finger right along the edge of the hood, and that's helping me also keep a very nice straight cut. I've had those bottles break before, but not like that where it just starts squirting out the whole top of it. Basically, they just, when they break usually, they just leak and drip out of the tip. So you come in the next morning, you have a puddle of whatever was in that bottle. Has anybody tried putting new seals in those? I tried putting some new O-rings in them, one of them, and the O-rings were too hard. They were just from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight has some green ones too. I thought I might look into those green O-rings and see if those are maybe softer. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's starting to get a little tight there. You know what? I'm gonna get scissors for that spot. Scissors are gonna work better there. Make sure I don't scratch the plastic. Uh-oh. Nope, nope, there they are. Alright. Let's see. Where am I gonna start here? This is a little awkward right in here. Alright, so let's see where let's go ahead and I'm gonna cut this. And then we're cut to right there, so we have to go all the way all the way to there. So I'm gonna go ahead and go like this. And then we're gonna have to hold on to this side in order to get that to cut like that. Not gonna work. Okay, hold both sides. Better. Okay, now I should be able to pull away, back and away, and we should be able to trim this up. That is just very awkward. You know what? Let's try. Let's see. Well, it's just close right here. So actually, let's just start here and let's do the scissors up until somewhere in here, and then we'll go back to seeing if we can just use the blade. Okay. A little wavy. Okay, that's a little bit of a pain in the rear end. This one I'm just going to go ahead and 45. Well, let's see. I'll leave it for now. We'll come back to it. Okay. A little step for us. Get up here a little further. I'm trying to leave just as little blade out as I can to make sure that we're not hitting anything. Actually, that was easier than the scissors. Now that this has had a few minutes here, we'll go ahead and finish our cut. Let's see, there's a little air pocket that was right there. I don't know if that was left behind from when I was squeegeeing, or if when I was cutting I lifted it up and got that into there. All right, but now we've got all the edges trimmed, we've got everything squeegeed out, so we're gonna be able to just let this dry now and then come back, wrap the edges and heat seal it. So first I want to blow out all the edges with some tack solution or water. Those are going to be tough to get to. Look at this mess. Needless to say, this is this bottle's last install. All right, so now that everything's blown out, let's go ahead and open this all the way up. Let's see if we can get a little bit in some of this back corner here. Yep, that's helpful, definitely. That's like catastrophic failure. All right, so today I'm trying to get this hood done as quickly as possible so I can go home. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now is blow all these edges out with a air compressor. And then that'll give them, really help speed up the process of drying so that we can wrap these edges much sooner. So, if you're going to blow out your edges, make sure they're dry enough to do so. Otherwise, you're going to blow air underneath there. But as long as it's dry enough, it shouldn't affect anything. All right, so whenever I'm letting paint protection film dry on a hood, it's almost always going to be up like this. That way all the water goes to sides and then runs down and drips off. All right, well at this point we're gonna go ahead and just leave this hood open and let it dry. I'll probably give it about 20 or 30 minutes, and actually when we come back I'll tell you how long it was, and then we'll go ahead and wrap all these edges. All right, well let's get to wrapping these edges. It has been actually about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, right around in there. So these are completely dry, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap them. So the first thing I'm gonna do is kind of take my finger and run around all the edges to make sure that the material is wrapped off of the top. So I'm curling this around to the side and then almost to the bottom. That way we don't leave any air while we're pushing it out on the top where somebody's gonna be able to see it. And now at this point it's real safe to start heating and wrapping. So in a corner like this, when I'm gonna do this melt method, I just take it and wrap it in behind. Right on the corner first, and then I work my way away from that corner. And this area is a bit of a headache to get down. All right, so now what we're gonna do is heat this corner up, and then we're gonna push it into itself. It's basically melting it to itself. Perfect. Wrap this part over first, and then take the rest of this down. And we'll go all the way to the corner again. Wrap that corner first. Heating this up as we go, and then wrapping this back just a little bit. It should take about 3 passes in order for you to get this all the way down. And now we'll get down all the way back behind the rubber there. Okay, let's do some more corners and melt this one. So again, you want to start at the corner and then work the rest down. Oh, the heat gun's hot. 1100 is too much. That's why it's melting so fast. I'm gonna take it down to about 700. All right, let's try a couple things here. That works only that far. Let's see what we can do with this tool inside of the wrap glove. Alright, that worked pretty good. Now let's see if it's down. Alright, yeah, that got it down plenty. Especially enough that we could go ahead and run our finger across it in the back there. Now you can see that we've got still a little bit of material here that needs to be heated up and pushed down. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to drop that squeegee in there just to make sure we don't overheat the plastic. Okay. I'll show you what that looks like later. See if you can see this a little better. That's that finished edge. All right, well, all that's left to do is wipe this beauty down, and then this thing's ready to go home. Appreciate you taking a look. If you found anything useful or helpful, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.